You asked for it, and we are delivering. Welcome to the one and only all-access podcast all about your Blue Comets football. Welcome to Beyond the End Zone, Blue Comets football, with head coach Calvin Brown. This episode is sponsored by Coach's Neighborhood Grill.
Welcome to Beyond the End Zone Blue Comets football, and this episode is sponsored by Coach's Neighborhood Grill. Today's episode is titled Full Speed into Conference Play. Before we get into that, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube if you go to Sports in the Borough. Also go to Blue Comets Football on Facebook and Instagram and give them a follow. Here with me as always, head coach Calvin Brown. How you doing, Coach?
Good. I'm doing good. Hope you are too.
It's pretty cool homecoming. Released the scoreboard. It looked great.
Yeah, I thought homecoming night was, it was a packed house. Our stadium was full. I've never seen that many people in the stadium. We released the scoreboard, the Jumbotron. It was a great night for us. I think it was a great week for our entire school with the homecoming festivities. I just hate we couldn't perform a little better during the game. It
was really unique because I could tell even the student section was getting a little more excited, and I think Dr. Moody has really been pushing on that as well to really get the student body to really just go crazy, be the true crazies.
The school spirit's really coming a long ways, I feel like. And it started the night before. We had a huge bonfire Thursday night before homecoming game, and hundreds of students were out here with our band and our cheerleaders. It was probably quite cool to see, to sit back and watch. I've never seen nothing like that. The excitement around Asheboro High School is tremendous right now. Our student section did a great job Friday night in the stands. Like I said, the stadium was packed, and just to see that is exciting.
All right, Coach, I'm about to come out strong. This is to all the negative sayers out there, but a rebuild is what we're looking at. It's statistically showing a rebuild really takes 24 months is what I've told, if I'm correct, right? And that a stat, I think someone's quoted 24 to, was it 2 years for a rebuild?
It doesn't happen overnight. I know that for sure.
And here's the thing I don't want people to realize. It don't, like you said, it don't happen overnight, but you're already showing progress. People don't realize this. Besides Randleman, we've been in every game until that fourth quarter, every game. And 2 or 3 of them we beat ourselves.
Yeah, we're making mistakes that are beating ourselves for sure in some of these close games. It's right now we get off to good starts, and then the first negative thing that happens, the first bad thing that happens, our guys don't know quite how to handle adversity. And I tell them all the time, the game of football, there's a lot of ups and downs, and you have to be able to handle those downs, and it's how you handle those to determine the outcome of the game. Everything's not going to go perfect. Every play is not going to be perfect. You got to handle that adversity, and we were struggling with that. We go back and watch film. There's a lot of good things going on. We're seeing, as a coaching staff, we see things in film where we're getting better. There's just too many bad things mixed in, and we got to get everybody on board and eliminate some of those mistakes. But we are headed in the right direction. There's no doubt about that. As a coaching staff, we see it. At practice, this week we feel like we've had one of our best weeks of practice. Our guys, some of them are responding. We're weeding some of them out. Some guys are kind of shying away, and some guys are stepping up. And that's what we wanted to do is find out who wants to be there and who wants to compete and who wants to go play.
And I feel like this is the story of every game. We start out strong. For example, let's talk about Southwest. We came in there, I don't know, did the guys come in a little cocky thinking that, Albemarle beat them, like we got this, it's a win. And then it was really competitive to the fourth quarter. But to me, it's just like you watch the heads get down even when there's a chance to win.
Yeah, we did get off to a good start, and I don't know if they felt we didn't even talk about the Southwest Albemarle game at all with our guys because we didn't want that to get in their head about Albemarle. I'd beat Southwest, we beat Albemarle because things change over the course of a few weeks. So we never brought that up as a staff, but I know the kids, they know that stuff. And but we got off to a good start, and then we were playing really good defensively, got scored early, and then the first negative thing, we turned the ball over one time, and you could just feel the energy on our sideline go away. And the same thing kind of happened early in the year at Providence Grove with a halftime lead. We just kind of felt the energy go away from us. And things like that are what we've got to overcome, is we got to be able to face that adversity and keep pushing through.
And how do you do that with these kids, these young kids? How do you get their heads? Because, it's a lot. When a kid shuts down, it's really tough to get them to put their head back up.
It's just continuing to get after them every day, to continue to work with them, and try to get better each day, and eventually it will come. We have seen tremendous efforts out of our JV group.
Oh, yeah.
Our JV team has gotten way better each week.
2-game win streak, if I'm correct?
They've won 2 out of the last 3 and lost to Randleman at the end of the game, lost 12-8. But they have gotten better each week. And so I feel like our young guys are starting to figure it out a little bit. And I think some of the varsity guys, the older guys, are coming along. We're just trying to find the right ones that are willing to do things the right way right now.
And, I mean, there is progress happening. All our viewers can listen, but we've been averaging about 30 yards a game in the run. But you had 95 rushing yards and a TD most all season. Sounds like you're figuring something out with the run game.
Yeah, we're getting there. Part of the problem with our run game right now is going into the season, our top 2 running backs are out.
Yep.
And now we're on running back 3, running back 4. And so it's taken a while, but them guys are doing really good. And Quincy Lee, he's kind of been the guy that has really taken over. Quincy's a guy that we're really happy what he's doing. He's learning how to be a running back, but he's running extremely hard and is very coachable. And then TJ Mark gave us some good carries against Southwest the other night as well. But we're going to continue to get better there. We're getting better. We've struggled offensive line. We've got a couple guys that are figuring it out. We've got a few others that are still way behind. But this week in practice, I've seen great improvement from them guys as well.
And let's flip it on the passing side. 201 receiving yards, a TD, but 2 interceptions. What's happening here? Because between the 4 losses, there's been 7 interceptions. Don't get me wrong. Overall, we see 1,222 passing yards, 9 TDs. But the interceptions are really hurting and really just scoring right now, Coach, because we're only averaging 15.8. But I feel like we're in the red zone a lot.
Yeah, well, the passing game is just – there's some mistakes. Lately, our quarterback Logan's been getting hit. One of the interceptions was he got hit, and then the ball's up in the air. We made another bad read, but it's a lot of combination things. And interceptions are going to happen when you throw the ball as much as we are right now. Yeah. That's part of the game. It's just learning how to move past that. So we'll be fine there. I'm not concerned about that. Right now, we've, like you said, we were struggling to kind of get the ball in the end zone. We've had chances. And there's things that we've talked to them guys about we've got to get fixed. We tried to run the ball the other night down there tight, and we couldn't get it in there. We missed a few blocks. We're running real high, so we're getting knocked backwards instead of falling forwards for a touchdown. And so just different things like that, and we're making some mistakes. But we are improving. I think, I don't want to talk about this much, but, you said right at 16 points a game. We're right there at that. I think last year Ashboro averaged right at 7 points a game. So there is improvement, but as a coaching staff, we're looking at it and we could be a lot better, and we just got to keep working to get to where we need to be.
And how do you keep your quarterback's head up? Because, I mean, he's a great young man, but I could tell he was a little discouraged in that Southwest game.
So he was, and you could see it. And, our offense coordinator, Coach Handy's had some conversations with Logan about that. And great thing about Logan, he's such a great kid. He was getting frustrated like anybody would. He didn't let it, he's not saying anything or whatever. You could just kind of see it in his eyes. And there's been some talks, and he's bounced back this week. And he knows he's got to step up and be a leader. Even when things aren't going great, he's got to be a leader. And he understands that, and he's going to do that going forward.
And it sounds like the O-line's got a little bit of work on. But you got a few bright spots. You said you got a few players that are really stepping up on the O-line.
Yeah, we've got 2 guys that we've been real pleased with. Sophomore Boone Hensley, he's been great for us. And then we've got our right tackle, junior Chris Spivey, who's been those 2 guys have really gotten after it. That we've been pleased with them. And the other 3 offensive linemen, there's kind of been some guys, some rotation in there and different things. They're seeing what they need to work on. And I truly believe they're going to continue to get better as well. They've gotten after it this week. Coach Parrish has really gotten on to them. We gave up too many hits on our quarterback the other night and just missing too many blocks that they shouldn't be missing. And it's just mental mistakes. So those things are going to get fixed. Like I said, we're working extremely hard in practice right now to fix those things.
And, Coach, I think we're going to give the fans what they want. For weeks, we've been seeing all our viewers ask for it, and I think we got to go inside the Blue Comets locker room with offensive lineman Christopher Spivey.
Now it's time to go inside the Blue Comets locker room.
Welcome to Inside the Blue Comets locker room. Here with me, our fans have asked for it, and I'm delivering because they keep saying it. But we're here with Christopher Spivey. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. The fans want to hear from you, man.
Yeah.
You got a comedic side we don't know about, or?
I mean, I guess so.
You're a high-demand person, man. I think every episode we've had people ask for you.
Yeah.
How you feeling, man?
Good.
So junior this year. So you've been on varsity a couple of years. What's been the difference so far compared to this year and last?
This year I feel more motivated.
Nice. Where's that motivation come from?
Coach Brown and Coach Parrish, they really bring me up.
Coach Parrish seems like a hype coach, man. I see him jumping around, getting hyped.
Yeah. He does good with the motivation and getting us up there.
And his knowledge is pretty, like, I know you've had, some pretty good O-line coaches before, but his knowledge seems like just, amazing. He's a student of the game. He's constantly studying, trying to make you guys better.
Yeah, it feels way different between 2 years.
And the competition, you've seen it. Last year, you've been here for a few years. It's been a blowout. Every game has been competitive. Obviously, Random Man was a blowout, but every other game, you guys were in it till the end.
Yeah, he just told us to keep it up, keep doing what we were doing, and that we were doing good, and just keep our heads up about it.
And how do you motivate your teammates? Because, you guys, you and I forgot who else has been named, but you guys are kind of holding that O-line strong. Because some of them try to put their head down, but how do you encourage them just to keep fighting?
Yeah, me and Memo, we keep the O-line up, tell them to keep their heads up.
How do you play? Because you got a leadership role. What do you say to them? What do you get them? So, like, for example, if you get a sack, your quarterback's a little discouraged. How do you lift up your O-line or your QB?
I just tell them to make sure they read their play, and then just don't get down on it and go to the next play.
It's like short-term memory, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what you got a different quarterback behind you this year, Logan Laughlin. He seems like a pretty good guy.
Yeah, he can throw it.
He really can. And being an O-lineman, I feel, honestly, in my opinion, it's one of the most important positions because without you can't start the possession, and you can be sacked every time. O-line is the anchor for everything. Yeah. When it comes to run game versus pass block, talk to me a little bit about that. Is run just more in place,
Run, I feel like, is more difficult because you have to put the opposite team where you want them to go. And then pass block, you just got to keep them in that one spot away from the quarterback so he can throw.
And how have y'all gotten better? Because your run game struggled a little bit because you were only getting 30 yards, but y'all had 90-something last week.
Yeah, I feel like it's getting better. We definitely need to work on some things, but it's getting better.
And, you've seen some tough competition. Even in ER, you saw a D1 commitment. That had to be tough to try to block against.
Yeah, he was big.
And what's the secret sauce of that? When you go against someone that's bigger than you, stronger than you, how do you hold your ground?
Just stay low.
I feel like you're a very calm, cool, and collective person, man.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what. So how do you take that into the game? Is it just, are you like this in the game, or is the helmet on, you're ready to go?
Once I put the helmet on, we warm up, I get my hype up.
Do you like contact? I feel like you don't mind it.
Yeah. That's the main reason I started playing.
And you've always played just football, right?
I played baseball.
Okay. So baseball was a love, but football is your number one now, is what I hear? Okay, what made you want to go to O-line? Were you middle school?
I was just built for it.
Built for it? You're a pretty good sized man. I wouldn't want to piss you off.
Yeah.
So going into this, it's a new atmosphere. You got a Jumbotron. Homecoming was packed, man. Looking into the crowd. Yeah. Was that exciting to see?
Yeah, it was exciting. It didn't really bring my nerves up. It was just good to know that people were here to watch us. And
seeing that Jumbotron, some hype videos, was that encouraging, do you feel, to the team? Or what did it bring when that hit play?
I think it encouraged us a little bit. It made us want to push farther.
Did that kind of get y'all hyped, screaming before you came out? Or you got a new coach. You've had the same coach for pretty sure the whole time you're here, right? If I'm correct. What is it like having Coach Brown as a new head coach for you?
He brings us together more. Because I feel like the last 2 years we were like on our own, independent. But he's brought us to a team standpoint.
I feel like they're always around the coaching staff. I feel like you got a great coaching staff they're not going to let you put your head down. They're on your butts 24/7. They're here at the school. They tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, they keep us up. They keep our heads up, make sure we're doing right.
And the excitement, I feel like the sidelines, they're more excited than the crowd sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Does that help to have that excitement as a coach?
Yeah, it really helps.
And when you put those cleats on and you walk down, do they instill that confidence in you that all right, we're going to war?
Yeah.
Because I've heard Coach Brown's speeches and Coach Handy.
Coach Handy and Coach Parrish are really about the war part.
I know it's been a tough few years, but I feel like you're competing, and that has to mean a lot to you. But what's going on here? I know y'all start out strong, but then it's like downhill battle.
I don't know. I just think we got that win, and we thought, we were good for the rest of the season, and we didn't really try. But now we're getting back up there to where we're back to where we were.
You got a new offensive coordinator. Who is Coach Handy, and what does Coach Handy mean to you?
Coach Handy, he's our offensive coordinator, and I feel like he does a good job making the right moves and all that. And he's just like a big motivational person too, like a hype person.
I feel like he really knows the game.
Yeah.
What have you learned from Coach Parrish?
I've learned a lot from Coach Parrish. He's helped me out a lot.
He was on the podcast. He had a lot of good things to say about you guys in the O-line, that y'all are young, but, I mean, the future's bright. Yeah, we got some stuff to work on, but we got a young talent, and y'all got some people on JV coming up that I think's going to help the O-line next year.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. And most of us are young, so we're still going to keep going, and then we'll add more on later.
The red zone. What's going on in the red zone? You guys, like, y'all do such a great job, but then in the red zone, it's like something happens, y'all can't punch it in. Like, what are y'all working on? What does that feel like to you? You think needs to be worked on?
Yeah, I feel like it needs to be worked on. Like, I feel like we freeze up when we get down there, and we're just excited to get the touchdown. And then we just like freeze up. We don't know what to do.
And that's what I'm saying, because I feel like you guys, I mean, you're averaging 15.6, which is double what you had last year. I don't know if you know that, which has got to feel good. Y'all guys are scoring.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like our mentality is better, and then that's why we're putting up more.
Oak Grove's picked to win this conference. I'm pretty sure by a couple of different websites I've read. What would it mean to you to go in there and just compete? What would do you think that would show you how much this program has changed?
Yeah, I feel like if we compete, we'll know that we're good.
And what is compete to you?
Winning.
Winning. If y'all win, you're gonna go nuts.
Yeah.
So you gotta do a front roll right there. So if you beat Oak Grove, you gotta give me a little tumble front roll.
All right.
Next time I see you, we're gonna video it for the Jumbotron. How about that? And how do you get yourself psyched up? Because some of these student sections, man, they'll try to get in your head.
Yeah. I just don't really listen to them. I just stay to myself.
Because I noticed at Providence Grove, they have their student section in the end zone. That's got to be, when you're looking in there, all you see is them. That's got to be a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I try not to look at them. Try not to focus on them.
Your receiving corps is pretty interesting. Y'all got some comedians, let's put it that way, between Leighton, Ben, Aiden. Aiden cracks me up, man.
Yeah, Aiden's funny.
I mean, you got a good group of guys, man. What does that feel like to know that you got the same group for a couple years?
It makes me feel good because we got a good talent with us.
You ever been to Coach's Neighborhood Grill? Did you know they're our sponsor of this whole episode?
Yeah.
Coach is pretty good food.
Yeah.
I hear, they do karaoke, right?
Yeah.
Coach Brown says that we want to vote you to do a karaoke night sometime.
Me?
Yeah, I think you can sing, man.
Nah, man.
I don't know, man. Our fans might want to hear. They want to hear you on the podcast. They might want to hear you sing.
Nah.
We'll have to take the team out to karaoke night and make you all sing and maybe put together a video for the community.
I don't know about that, but that'd be a good idea.
What would your go-to song be?
I don't even know.
You don't know?
Nah.
You more of a hip hop, or you what's your rock, or what you got?
A little bit of rap.
A little bit of rap. Who's your favorite artist?
Young Thug.
All right, so Christopher Spivey's gonna sing Young Thug at Coach's Neighborhood Grill for karaoke night. Nah, I'm kidding. But yeah, man, we want to thank you for being here on Inside the Blue Comets locker room, man. We're excited for the future. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Are you looking for an atmosphere where you feel you belong like Friday Night Blue Comets lights? Coach's Neighborhood Grill is the place to be. Plenty of room for your family and friends to enjoy a good quality meal with a great team. Coach's Neighborhood Grill, proud sponsor of Beyond the End Zone, Blue Comets Football Podcast.
Coach, I see why the fans wanted to hear from him. I wonder if he can sing, because I hear that Coach's Neighborhood Grill has karaoke.
Apparently, Spivey's a man of many talents. So if the fans vote him in to do karaoke, he'd probably do that as well.
Yeah, he seems like a really good kid. And he's only a junior, right?
Yes, Chris is a junior for us.
That's great to have that leadership, because next year he's going to come in with that experience.
Yeah, I think that's going to be great. We are a junior-heavy football team right now with a lot of guys that don't have varsity football experience. They're getting this year for the first time their first taste of varsity football. So they're only going to continue to get better, because experience goes a long way in the game of football. And, Coach, let's flip it. Let's go to our defensive side. 32 points per game allowed. That is pretty tough. But what adjustments are you making as you go against a 4-1 Oak Grove? That we've made some adjustments defensively, and we're doing some good things. Our defense makes some good stops, and then all of a sudden we'll give up big plays. And the big plays is what's hurting us. And that's one thing we try to preach is don't give up the big play. In high school, we feel pretty confident if you can make teams continue to snap it over and over and over and have to put long drives together, that something good will happen on our end, that they'll make a mistake and something good will happen. And we've gotten stops when we need them, but we're also just giving up the big plays. And then it hasn't helped that our offense puts our defense in a bind sometimes. Yeah. That kind of hurts us as well. But I feel like we're in the games. We were in that Southwest game. It was 20-13 there, or, into the fourth quarter. And so we're right there. I mean, that's a great football game. And then we give up the 2 late scores that really hurt us on big plays. But I feel like defensively we're getting to the football. Last week we were missing a few guys, which hurt us. Hopefully we can start getting some guys back healthy. That will help as well. But we're going to continue to get better. One thing that's hurting us right now is just our tackling. We're not a very physical football team.
Is it arm tackling or just not contact?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I think the inexperience in our guys, and we're just not very physical right now. And that's one thing we're stressing this week at practice. And like I said, we've had one of our hardest weeks of practice all year, but also one of our best because the guys they're taking to our coaching and wanting to get better.
Am I hearing that y'all are having live practices lately? Just kind of get a little physical?
There's been a lot of live scrimmaging going on, and the guys are responding pretty well. And it's something you got to do to get better. This late in the season, you hate to put some of your guys in those positions. You always run the risk of injury at practice, but as a team, we've got to get better and we've got to learn to be physical. And there's only one way to learn to be physical, and that's get out there and compete.
Amen to that. So it's been a topic we talk about all the time, Coach, the run defense. You're getting ready to go against a team with 1,303 rushing yards with 20 touchdowns, Coach, 20 touchdowns. What are you going to have to do? How do you get these kids when they need to stay home? What are you going to do as you prepare for Oak Grove with Creech coming in with 423 rushing, 8 touchdowns, along with his partner in crime at 545 and 7 TDs?
Yeah, Oak Grove, they do a great job running the football. Their whole team's good, but offensively, they look like a machine. They can do a lot of stuff. They give you a lot of different looks, but they got guys that can run the football. And so as a defense, up front, it's going to have to start with us. We're going to have to maintain the line of scrimmage. Their offensive line is so good. We've got to try to maintain that line of scrimmage. And then our linebackers and our DBs have got to be good tacklers. We've got to get to the football, and we've got to tackle low. If we try to tackle these guys up high, we're going to miss. And so we've been preaching we got to get low on them, and we got to get 11 hats to the football. It can't be one guy trying to bring these running backs down. We got to gang tackle. We got to all get there and fly to the football.
And that quarterback, Creech, he likes to tuck it, but I feel like you've seen that before. So it's like you're not going in blind. You've gone against a few quarterbacks already that like to tuck it. For example, Providence Grove, Southwest.
We've seen several running quarterbacks that has hurt us too. That's one thing we're hurting right now is we're pretty good when we're 11 on 10. We have to play 11 on 11. We feel like we're not quite as good right now, but our coaching staff and our guys have gotten after it this week, and hopefully we can slow him down a little bit.
And it's going to, of course, first conference game, it's got to be away against a 4-1 Oak Grove. As these kids prepare for this tough school, I mean, it's a winnable game, Coach. How do you get the kids to understand that and not to go on the road and hop on that bus with their heads down as they go to Winston-Salem?
Yeah, Oak Grove, they're one of the best 3A teams in the state of North Carolina. I think they were predicted or the pick to win our conference this year. It's a very good football team.
That says a lot with Ledford being in there.
Yeah, them and Ledford are really 2 good football teams. But just going over there, our guys got to understand that if we'll show up and play, we can compete with people. I mean, I think we've proved that this year, being in some games. You look at our 4 losses up to this point, and those teams are combined record with 17-3. So it ain't like we've played bad teams and we've been in these games. Eastern Randolph's one of the better teams around, and we had them right there on the ropes late in that game. So we can do it. It's just fighting through the adversity because we're not going to go play at Grove and it be a perfect game. They're a really good football team. They're going to score. They're going to get first downs. They're going to have good things happen for them. It's how do we handle it? Do we answer them, and do we continue to fight, or do we lay down and put our heads down? So that's just what we've got to do is continue to fight and push forward.
And, Coach, behind every successful person lies a pack of haters. So I want you to know, Coach, I'm excited for the future of Asheboro football. I see it bright. I think you're doing a great job, you and your coaching staff. I mean, Coach, we're competing, and I think it'll stay a lot just to come in and score right off the bat, or even just the defense. Like you said, the defense stops and just continue to push that. So as you go into this week, Coach, is there a mindset, any words you're telling these kids or anything, just prepare them?
We're just trying to be better, and I'm figuring out how to handle the adversity. I told them, there's a lot of things. I'm trying to figure out what motivates this group as a coach, and I'm spending a lot of time racking my brain just trying to do what I can to help them be successful. And we're going to continue as a coaching staff to continue to put in the time. I told the guys, I said, I can promise you, it doesn't matter how bad it gets or anything like that. This coaching staff ain't going to lay down. We're going to keep fighting, keep finding ways for us to compete and win, and we're going to keep pushing these guys. There's going to be no quit in us. And if we can get the guys on board with us and continue to go, and we just want to go compete. I told them, I don't care what the scoreboard says Friday night. Good, bad, whatever. It doesn't matter. I want us to go be better than we've been and start to be physical and compete.
And, Coach, how do you tune out the outside talk from your players, because there's going to be people out there running their mouths. There's going to be people in their classes running their mouth. How do you protect them and lift them up to basically not look at that and put their heads down before the game even starts?
We just keep preaching our message and what we want to get across to our guys. And as a coaching staff, the 9 of us coaches, we're all on the same page. We're all preaching the same message. We have each other's backs. The trust with the coaching staff is incredible. And so that goes a long ways. It doesn't matter where you're at. It doesn't matter how many games you win. I saw people all over Nick Saban because Alabama's not quite as good this year. I mean, one of the greatest coaches ever to do it. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter who you are, what level you're at, or what you're doing. There's going to be people that disagree with what you do. And I've learned that a long time as a head football coach. I don't pay attention to the outside people. We believe in what we're doing as a coaching staff. And we're going to continue to do things our way and continue to push forward. And without a doubt, I know that things at Asheboro can get turned around. And I've already seen a huge difference in things going on with our football program. And some of it's behind closed doors that other people will never see. But we're seeing a huge change in the culture here, and we're excited about it, and we're going to continue to get better.
And there's a lot of maturity, Coach, with you and your coaching staff, because I've seen things posted online and stuff, and the fans don't know what's going on, like you said, behind the scenes, but you're also protecting your players because there's things that they don't know going on that they just assume the negative. So I want to, tell you great job on that, Coach. I think that's honorary to you, because most people could just throw in and throw the blame game on stuff, but you've taken that.
Yeah, we're trying to teach these kids, we're going to hold them accountable for things, and there's things that has going on that we hold our kids accountable for, and I know sometimes the general public don't understand that, and that's fine, but at the end of the day, we're going to continue to teach our kids to be held accountable, and they're going to be responsible for decisions that are made and different things. And I think that will help them as a man going forward in the future, not only in football, but when they get out into the real world. And so that's the message in the program we're trying to do. And I know it's the same thing we did at Providence Grove, and we turned that program around. So we're going to use the same method and things that we did there, and it worked, and it's going to work here too.
And it's great because, people don't realize, and not to bring this back, but yeah, we're 1-4, but you had 2 losing seasons at Providence Grove, and look what you did with that program. So that's why I want the listeners to listen. It's pretty impressive that we're already competing, and it took you 2 years to go in. You haven't had a losing season since, if you really look at it.
Yeah, and we haven't. And then it takes time. And it was, one thing there was myself and my defensive coordinator were already on staff at Providence Grove. So we had some familiarity with the program and different things. So it wasn't quite as challenging, I guess you'd say, as a fix. But it's something that we're looking forward to, and we're going to continue to work. And I think our players are figuring out that we're going to show up every day. Our coaches are here every day working, and we're not going to lay down. We're going to continue to fight each week and do everything we can to give our players a chance to be successful. We want to see them win. It has nothing to do with us. We want to see these kids experience success, and so we're going to do everything we can. I told Dr. Moody this past weekend after a disappointing loss to Southwest, I said a lot of people could lay down, but by 8 a.m. on Saturday morning, myself with a few other coaches were already at work working for the next week, and I had spoke to every single one of my coaches, and we were all on to the next week preparing, trying to figure out how to make our guys better. So we're going to keep working each week, and we're going to continue to get better.
And, Coach, I can't wait to see the 5-year plan, because I have a good feeling that Asheboro's in good hands. And, being at Providence Grove, seeing what you guys built in the student section and the vibe and the atmosphere there, I feel like it's going to be pretty popping here, especially with the scoreboard and everything going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of good things going on here that we can build off of in our future. And luckily that, we got Dr. Moody, who's all about those things as well, and going to continue to push for the excitement and the exciting things going on here at Asheboro.
And we got to talk about a little bit, I don't know if our viewers have seen it, but the scoreboard, we got some cool little glads, and it's pretty exciting, Coach. The players got to get hyped. When that scoreboard hits play, it's pretty exciting to see these hype videos and everything.
Yeah, it kind of put chills down my body whenever we played the intro video before we come running out Friday night, homecoming, just to be able to kind of glance over and see that up there on the board before we ran out and to hear it. And I think those are the things that's going to continue to build excitement. And now but I tell our guys, I said, all that stuff's great, but it doesn't matter. What only thing that matters is what's between the white lines, and we got to continue to go out and perform and put on a good show for our fans.
All right, well, fans, Friday night, 7:30 p.m. kickoff at Oak Grove. Make sure you go and support our Blue Comets in their first conference game of the season. Anything you want to tell our listeners, Coach?
We'd love to have a lot of support on the road. We we've been competing, and it'd be nice to have a good crowd with us on the road this week.
Now, they don't have a great place like Coach's Neighborhood Grill to go eat at before the game, but you could always eat here and then go drive to Winston-Salem.
It's not too far of a drive, so you can get you can eat dinner here, then head down there.
We want to thank you all, our listeners, to this one and only All Access podcast for you, the fans, on your Blue Comets football. We want to thank Coach's Neighborhood Grill for being our sponsor for the podcast, and we ask you, the fans, to go support them as they support your Blue Comets football. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share so we can get the ball in the end zone on this All Access podcast. We'll see you next time.
This episode was sponsored by Coach's Neighborhood Grill. Make sure you go by and support them for their support of Blue Comets football. Are you a business wanting to support Beyond the End Zone, Blue Comets football podcast? Don't miss your chance to be a sponsor for this all-access podcast on your Asheboro Blue Comets. Contact us at sportsintheborough22@gmail.com and learn about your sponsorship opportunities. Again, that is sportsintheborough22, all one word, @gmail.com. Contact us today.